Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. For today's review, we're going to take a look at NECA's Heroes of the Storm, the Betrayer Illidan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Not too sure, so if I've pronounced it wrong, just let me know. So the packaging is pretty much standard NECA Blizzard style clamshell. So you can see the figure inside, artwork of the character on the front, and on the back you've got the card with the bio. So if you want to read it, just pause it right there. There's also other figures you can get in the series, which I have done reviews of. Okay, so back to the packaging. To open this guy, you do have to cut all the way around, so I'll do that now and be back in a sec. And here he is, out of the box. First things first, his hairpiece is sitting there, so I'll just grab that out. And he is held in by a twisty tie, so I have to go around the back to get it open. And his weapons are in little bags on the back. I guess they couldn't find space for it in the blister pack, so just gotta undo that. And undo the twisty tie. And here he is out of the packaging. So first things first, I'm just going to plug his hair piece on. And you will have to put a little bit of force in there. Maybe hold it by the base. And it is a bit of a tight fit. And I think you can actually rotate it, but try not to rotate it from the top because you end up kind of bending the plastic and breaking it off. So that's him with his hairdo on. And let's take a look at his weapons. So both of these weapons, they are completely identical, and they're actually quite solid. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're pretty solid and very well painted and sculpted. And these are actually quite pointy, so you can actually puncture your skin if you push it hard enough, so be careful with that. Paint job on the, I'm not sure how to call it, but the middle bit is really nice and intricate. It's got gold, red, and a bit of like really dark blue, so that's really nice. And I think these blade parts, they're supposed to be some sort of gem or some sort of jade stone type rock. It hasn't been well translated in toy form. It kind of just looks like a green blade. But the sculpting is nice, but I just wish the paint or the material would reflect that a little bit more, but not too bad. And with the accessories, you can just slide his hand in, and he doesn't grip it with his fingers. It's pretty much just pushed in between his hands, but it holds in place pretty nicely, so it's not going to drop out, so that's kind of good. And he looks pretty good holding them, so yeah, that's good. And here's a closer look at the figure, and let's start with the head. And so far I think the paint job for this guy appears to be quite nice all the way through the figure. The hair pieces here in the front, they're nice and soft, so you can bend them up and down. His ears are not as soft, but they are kind of bendy as well, so you shouldn't have any problems with breakages. His hair, as I mentioned before, is nice and bendy and soft, and it's not too back heavy, so he's not gonna fall backwards because of the hair. The hair on the back is also bendy, so that's kind of good. And nice wash on the eye wrap there. And the face is pretty well painted. You can actually see the teeth there as well, so that's quite nice. And his body is a very nice purple. It's not too bright, it's not too dull, it's pretty spot on, I think. And the tattoos on his body, 2 shades of green, with the top shade being slightly metallic in color, which really makes it shine and it catches the light really nicely. Sculpting on the body is quite good. He's got heaps of muscle definition. Check that out. The arms are pretty nice too. And coming down to his pants. So this bit here is soft, so that can bend out of the way for articulation, same as the back. Pretty nicely painted with the gold trim. And nice sculpted fur there on the top of the pants. And he's got a lot of nice stitching detail on the side of the pants, and they've all been painted, which is really good. And the pants have a kind of low light painted in the creases, which is really nice. Fur around the bottom of the pants, and nicely painted feet with a bit of wash on the toenails. And now for articulation. So he can look up that far, looks down that far, which is pretty good. He can rotate his head, but obviously his hair is going to get in the way, but you can kind of bend that out of the way if you want him to look all the way to the side. So that's actually really good. And he does have tiny bit of, actually quite a lot of side to side tilt. So very good range of motion for the head on Illidan. And for the shoulders, you can lift up his arm to about there, down to there, all the way around, bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and gives him slightly less than 90 degrees. And the cool thing is the forearms kind of wrap around the elbow joint, so it hides the joint quite nicely. So that's really cool. Coming down to his wrist, I think it's a ball peg. So there's a bit of rocking, there's rotation, and there's in and out. So that's quite good. And coming down to his abs, he can ab crunch forward that far. Back, not too far, but it's a little bit further than standing straight. And obviously it's got rotation and a tiny bit of side to side rocking action as well. And I don't think there's any waist, no, there's no waist swivel there. And with his legs, okay, let's see how much he can split. Whoa, he can do a full split, pretty much. You do have to squeeze the legs up a little bit. You can hear the plastic kind of contracting. And he can kick forward that far and kick back that far. So pretty good range for the hips. He does have a thigh rotation hidden in the pants, in the top of the pants, so that's good. Double jointed knees, so pretty good. That's an excellent knee joint. And then coming down to his feet, he can point down that far, up that much, rotate all the way around, and he does have ankle rocker. And in terms of height, to the top of his head, he comes to about 165 millimeters, which is about 6.49 inches. And now for some size comparisons. First up, here he is with Arthas from the same series. Here he is with Mythic Legion's Atlas. Here he is with SS Figure Arts Tony Stark. Here he is with DC Icons Rebirth Superman. And finally, here he is with Marvel Legends Cyclops. Surprisingly, of all the Heroes of the Storm figures I've gotten so far, Illidan is now kind of my favorite. He was the one I was actually thinking of not picking up, because in the game I really did not like him. I use Viola a lot of the time, and this guy always shuts me down, so yeah. But anyway, the figure itself is really good. Each of the figures that I reviewed before all had its little flaws. Tyrell had really bad articulation, Nova had some QC issues, Stitches had a bit of limited articulation as well, and Arthas, I mean, his sword broke on me straight out of the box. So yeah, this guy, so far, no problems at all. Awesome articulation, excellent QC, nice paint job, and everything just looks really good on this guy. So yeah, definitely my favorite of the series so far. And that's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another toy review.